Undo, your bi-weekly source of art making inspiration from the Cincinnati Art Museum. My name is Alex Audie Callan, and you might recognize me from the Rosenthal Education Center at the Cincinnati Art Museum. So this week, when I was trying to come up with a fun activity for us to do with materials we might be able to find around our house, I kept coming back to the beauty of springtime, the beauty of nature. There are so many lovely flowers and plants and green things outside right now. I thought it might be fun to make an artwork inspired by that. As you can see, I have some arugula flowers from my garden here. Another thing that inspired me is one of my favorite children's books, which is called Planting a Rainbow by Lois Ehlert. It is a beautiful celebration of flowers of all different shapes and sizes and colors, and I definitely recommend you checking it out. As always, I've put a link in the description of this video of a great reading of this book on YouTube. So, thought today that we could take our humble egg carton and turn it into a flower collage. So let me show you my example. So I'm going to show you how to make this flower collage using all different kinds of things you might be able to find around your house. Let's go ahead and put that right here for us to look at. Okay. So the first thing you'll need for this project is obviously an egg carton. You'll just need one. And parents, you'll want to cut out the individual little egg cups before you give them to your kids, because you'll need some bigger scissors to do that. So you'll just cut off the edges and cut out the individual cups, and then you can use smaller kid scissors to kind of embellish the egg cups. So once you cut out your little egg cups, so this is just cutting each one of them out. You can see they're kind of weird shapes. So you can take your little scissors and you can kind of trim them into all different shapes and designs. And I'll show you, you can see in my example, I made lots of different shapes and designs inspired by violets and daisies and daffodils, although the flowers that I made are from my imagination. They're not real flowers. So you can cut, you can round things off, you can kind of keep that shape of the egg carton if you want to. To me, this almost looks kind of like a violet or something. Or you can take it down and kind of round things out and then cut some daisy petals in there. So you can make as many as you want. You have 12 egg cups to experiment with, so even if you make something you don't really like, that's okay. You have lots to work with. So I decided, inspired by Lois Ehlert, I was going to make a rainbow garden. So you can see I have a rainbow over here. So that's why I did 7. So I only used 7 of my egg cups, and I went through a couple of them. So for our next step, we are going to add color to our flowers. And to do this, I thought, well, we all have different materials, coloring materials at home. I'm going to experiment with everything I can find around my house. So up next, you'll see all the different things that I use to add color to my flowers. See you later. All different kinds of materials to embellish your flowers, like magazines, fabric, buttons, tissue paper, stickers, and more. Okay, now that your flowers are finished, we're going to move on to assembling the collage. So we're going to set our flowers aside to let them dry. And now what we'll need is the background of your flower collage. I decided to use just a piece of blue construction paper, light blue construction paper with a little bit of paper marbling on it. You can use whatever paper you want. You can draw your own background, you can paint something, whatever you want to do. And then you will also need 7 flower stems. And so I cut my flower stems out of some more construction paper. So, and I cut them at varying lengths also, but you want to make sure that they're long enough that they're going to take up a lot of the paper. So our next step is arranging our flower stems and seeing how we want them to look on the page. So let's do that. So once you have your flower stems arranged how you like them, you're going to take your glue stick and glue them onto the page. At this point, you can also add any kind of grass or any other kind of collage element over top of your flower stems. So I made some grass, some kind of textured grass, also out of the egg carton. I made this out of the top of the egg carton and painted it. So I'm going to add that down here, and because it's kind of a heavier element, I'm going to use regular glue. And now it's time to add our flowers. So you can bring your flowers over. I'm going to arrange mine in the colors of the rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So since I know this is how I want my my finished collage to look, then I'm gonna go ahead and take my white school glue. Okay friends, we're back. My glue did not want to come out of the bottle, so what I did instead, rather than fighting it, took one of my leftover egg cartons and just put a little bit of glue in there, and then I can pour this back in the bottle when I'm finished. So let's try this again. So to really get your egg carton flowers glued on well, like I said, you're going to want to try to use liquid glue rather than a glue stick, because it's just going to hold on a lot better. So I'm going to put some glue down on the paper, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of my flower, and then hold it for a couple seconds, just make sure it bonds. And then you just do the same with the rest of your flowers. And then at this point, you can add some other embellishments if you like a sun or some clouds or whatever you want, or you can just say, hey, this is my finished artwork. And I think it looks beautiful. And here's my finished flower garden. I ended up adding some leaves and fluffy white clouds. I'd love to see your finished artwork. Hope to see you next week. Bye! Meow. I'm Coco the camera cat, and I say that's a wrap.